Japanese role-playing games are no less than any other game. With the unique blend of gameplay, story, and style, JRPGs have a huge fan base around the world. The unique mechanics, turn-based battles, item management, and character progression is what makes JRPGs extremely interesting and engaging, and we end up playing them for hours. In this video, we talk about the best JRPGs of all time that you need to play. Let's get started. Number 1. Chrono Trigger. Whenever there's a discussion about the best JRPG ever made, Chrono Trigger immediately pops up in our minds. The lovable and whimsy cast of Chrono Trigger and their time-hopping adventures make the players fall in love with it. The game was developed by Yuji Horii, the developer behind the Dragon Quest series, Hironobu Sakaguchi, the developer of the Final Fantasy series, and Akira Toriyama, famously known for designing Dragon Quest and Dragon Ball characters. The development of Chrono Trigger was a bit problematic in the beginning. However, the final product turned out to be amazing. As a JRPG player, you must have played Chrono Trigger at least once, as the game outgrows any other JRPG ever made. The 6 characters of Chrono Trigger go back and forth in time using the time travel mechanic and realize that a creature is going to destroy civilization. And these 6 characters start their mission to get rid of this evil creature in order to save the world. What's more, the game also introduced some innovative concepts in the world of JRPGs. For example, in Chrono Trigger, enemy attacks are not hidden or random. Instead, you can see where the enemy is on your screen. If we talk about the battles, it has the same active time battle system as Final Fantasy. The characters can take action even after the timer is depleted. Number 2. Final Fantasy VIII. Next on our list is Final Fantasy VIII. This JRPG changed the perspective of JRPGs for gamers. The cinematics, amazingly choreographed action never left a chance for criticism as the game is perfect in every way. Final Fantasy VIII had all players groove over it, as the completely changed magic and battle mechanics are on point. The game offers a unique unified visual fidelity that fits all the battle systems, traditional artwork, cinematic cutscenes, and overworld. We absolutely love how Final Fantasy has adopted some of the best aspects of Final Fantasy VI and VII and upgraded them to another level. The summon attacks, limit breaks, and the most famous 9,999 damage are one of their kind. If we compare Final Fantasy VIII with the previous versions, it is very clear that it couldn't have gotten any better. Even when it was called the Black Sheep, it still managed to enjoy the heights of popularity, and none of its previous versions ever did. If you haven't played Final Fantasy VIII yet, we suggest you do it as soon as possible. The game is definitely worth it. Number 3. Dragon Quest VIII. Back in 1986, Dragon Quest was first introduced as Dragon Warrior and is regarded as the inventor of JRPGs. However, Dragon Quest VIII was released in the same year as Katamari Damacy, Metal Gear Solid 3, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, and despite the strong competition, it turned out to be one of the best PS2 games. Dragon Quest VIII works as the defining point in the Dragon Quest series, as it's a level 5 developed game as well as the first game to have a moniker in the West. There's more. The battles in the game work in the traditional turn-based manner, but it also consists of the tension system. The tension system helps the player to skip a turn and make the next attack even stronger. We also notice that Dragon Quest VIII features the monster capturing system. That's a major highlight of Dragon Quest V. This signature system allows the players to capture monsters and use them in battles. The only drawback to Dragon Quest VIII is that despite being the best game of the Dragon Quest series, it is only playable on 3DS and PS2. If you use a modern console, you can try playing Dragon Quest XI, the newest game of the series and a very familiar one to Dragon Quest VIII. Number 4. Earthbound. Earthbound is the second game of the 3 mother games and the first one to gain heights of popularity. In the game, players play as Ness, a boy who lives in Eagle Land. After a meteorite crashes on Earth, Ness and his friend Pokey investigate the crash, where they realize that aliens called Geeks have taken over their town and have changed it into something sinister. You may think that the story of Earthbound is generic, however, it is far more than a standard JRPG. Here's an example. If you play a game like Final Fantasy, the story is always apocalyptic. On the other hand, if you play a game like Pokemon, the story is quite lighthearted. So what makes Earthbound different? It's the fact that it focuses on both apocalyptic nature and the lightheartedness of the story. Earthbound is that JRPG that pokes fun at many other JRPGs. You can also see the same feature in Undertale, a completely inspired game by Earthbound, but it isn't a JRPG. Number 5. Fire Emblem Three Houses. Talking about the latest JRPGs, Fire Emblem is one of the best and long-running strategies of the JRPG series. If compared with Path of Radiance and Awakening, Three Houses is way more definitive experience for JRPG fans. The previous games of the Fire Emblem series mostly focused on battles. However, Three Houses has some extra strategic gameplay to it. The players are asked to choose one house out of the 3 houses, each of which has its own story and characters. Instead of just battling, the players also get to roleplay as a professor who spends his time recruiting new students, training old students, purchasing new items, and building relationships. The bonds that the characters creates out of battle have a major impact on his/her actions when fighting a battle. This specific detail about this game gives a unique depth to it. We find the uniqueness of this game quite amazing, and it's not so common to find a game where you can fight battles as well as experience a complete lifelike persona. Number 6. Persona 5. After the release of Persona 4, the franchise didn't get much recognition, but it wasn't until the release of Persona 5 that brought it up to another level. The reason behind such popularity was the maximum stylization and level of visual fidelity offered by Persona 5. As soon as Persona 5 was released, it became a mega hit as well as the best-selling game of the whole franchise. As players, you get to take up the role of Joker in the Phantom Thieves of Hearts. All the characters start their journey together into the metaverse in an attempt to alter the minds and hearts of corrupt characters, such as cold-hearted CEOs, underworld criminals, and plagiarizing artists. The Royal version of Persona 5 followed it shortly and became a hit as well. Persona 5 Royal is a much more enhanced version. Joker and the Phantom Thieves are the main characters of the JRPG as well. While we're at the topic, it is important to remember that all Persona games are half JRPG and half life sim. As you start playing the game, you spend most of the time in high school struggles, meeting friends, forging relationships, as well as reading books. And with the story, several events occur where Joker and Phantom Thieves of Hearts travel into corrupt hearts to correct them. The hearts are shown as dungeons, and this is where the life sim experience ends, and the JRPG experience starts. Number 7. Ni no Kuni: Wrath of the White Witch. Ni no Kuni: Wrath of the White Witch may be a standard JRPG in terms of gameplay. However, it has its own uniqueness when it comes to narrative and visuals. In it, players take up the role of Oliver, who loses his mother in an accident. After the death of Oliver's mother, his doll magically comes to life and turns into a fairy called Drippy. Drippy tells Oliver about an alternative universe from where he came from. An evil wizard controls this universe. It is safe to say that Wrath of the White Witch is a fairy tale as its own visual mirror of the same idea. The Studio Ghibli of Japan produced animated sequences, character models, and overall world design. Wrath of the White Witch is not the first Ni no Kuni game. However, it is the first one to benefit from console hardware instead of mobile devices. Other Ni no Kuni games are also quite famous. However, Wrath of the White Witch has the biggest fan base, and for all the good reasons. Number 8. Super Mario RPG. How can we forget about Super Mario? During the 90s, Super Mario was an enormous success for Nintendo. The Japanese company featured their plumber in different genres outside his platforming roots. For creating the Super Mario RPG, Nintendo got help from the JRPG giant Square. In the game, all the characters such as Mario, Bowser, and Peach battle the monsters and face the aspects of life while living in the Mushroom Kingdom. Super Mario RPG is one of those games that shook the whole genre with its simple mechanics and special moves. This innovation opened doors for many new games based on almost the same genre. JRPG fans understand how fun it is to play them, as the story makes the players completely get lost in them. If you haven't played the above listed JRPGs yet, you are missing out on so much. For now, this is all fam. For more exciting videos, hit the subscribe button and keep watching. Till next time!